to eat less, and that's why you are eating twice during every day of the Ramadan, futur and suhoor. In order to learn that, you have to make this your habit after the month of Ramadan also, in order to eat less. And because, you know, the eating and drinking, we are in this world, we are not created for the drinking and eating. We are created for higher purpose. And drinking and eating should be a means for us, not a goal. And so that's the message of Quran, that if you want to actually get benefits of fasting, this should help you to actually exercise the moderation in every aspect of your life, not only in eating and drinking. Yes, eating and drinking is one thing, but this is a sign that are you capable to do the moderation in other aspects of your life or not? And that's why the ibadah, the purpose of the creation is ibadah. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I didn't create the jinn and ants, but to worship me. The worshiping is sometimes active act, like you have to, for example, pay zakat, you have to offer salat. But sometimes, actually, it is actually the negative act, which is to avoid doing something like fasting. So fasting means represent the ibadat of saying no. Sometimes of ibadat is you have to say yes, and sometimes it is no. So fasting represents the no in the ibadah, to say no to certain things. Because if you don't say no, you are not capable to grow yourself, to grow your soul. That's why even the word of Tawheed consists from no and yes. La ilaha illallah. First you have to say no, then you say no, yes. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ, which is in Ayatul Kursi. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ. This is the fasting. This is the no. وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ. Then you have iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى. Then you are having a good grasp of actually the handhold, which not breaks any time. If you have the both, no and yes. You cannot say, I don't have no. I just say yes. No, that's why we have taballi wa tabarri. First is tabarri and then taballi. Tabarri is representing the actually yes and no, and taballi yes. So you see that we need both of them. We need both actually the yes and no, and fasting will represent the no, that we have to say no to, for example, immorality. You see what Quran says about the fasting? I repeated this verse of Quran, that يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O people who believe, we prescribed on you the fasting as we have prescribed the fasting on people before you. Why? Perhaps you may gain taqwa. The reason the fasting was prescribed this year, you see that the fasting actually coincided also with the Passover and the Lent. This is another indication that you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He says in Quran that the fasting is not limited to Muslims. Fasting would be for all people, for the people of book. And, this means that, the message is one. The sender of message is one. The messengers are different, but the message is one. If you want to make your soul, you have to fast. And fasting is required to get the state of taqwa, the quality of taqwa. What is the meaning of taqwa? As we said many times, taqwa means that how to protect yourself from any harm which can come to you. So this is the meaning of taqwa, that you are capable to protect yourself from any type of harm. For example, you don't want to eat the junk food. Why you are not eating the junk food? Because junk food would actually damage your health. That's why you are protecting yourself from the junk food. So this is what's called taqwa. This is the taqwa. You are not smoking cigarette. Why? Because cigarette is harmful to your health, and this is taqwa. When you driving the car, you see that when you see the traffic light is red, you stop. Why you stop? Many people, they do it out of fear. Out of fear because they don't want to get ticket. If there is no ticket, you will see what type of chaos would be in the streets. This is the reality. But some people know. They actually exercise saying no to red traffic light. They will stop. Why? Because they know in order to protect the lives of others and his own life, he has to exercise taqwa. This is the meaning of taqwa, that you are stopping at the traffic light, at the stop sign, because you are exercising taqwa, because you want to protect yourself and others. This is the meaning of taqwa. We understand this, and most of us, they will do this type of taqwa exercise. But what about lying? Many people, they don't feel we have to protect also ourselves from lying. Some people, it's very easy for them to lie. So, but lying also is harmful. We understand the harm to the body, but we don't understand the harm to our integrity. They don't understand the harm to our society. But let me tell you, what is the problem of lying? Because when someone lies, in fact, he is destroying the trust in relationship. You know that the trust is not coming by chance to people. You have to build the trust for a long time. One time you lie, this long established trust would be vanished away by one lie. Your relationship with other people would be ruined. This is the reality. So what we have to do, we have to protect ourselves from lying. If we don't protect ourselves from lying, then it means that we would not have the value of trust in our relationship. Nobody will trust us anymore. We will losing our friendship with other people because there is no trust. So this is the taqwa which Quran says. It says that don't lie. Fasting should help you to not lie. Why? Because this is the taqwa. taqwa should help you to protect yourself from committing the sin of lying. So this is the what Quran says, that fasting should help you to not lie. Any other immorality is the same thing. We have to protect ourselves from any type of immoralities or immoral things. For example, pride or takabbur, arrogance. That's an immoral thing. We have to protect ourselves from the excessive pride. Why? Because the excessive pride also is harmful. Many people, maybe they don't recognize or they don't understand what actually, what is the, destroying effect of being so prideful in the life. You see that the reason that Iblis was cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the pride, excessive pride, takabbur. That I'm not going to do sajda for Adam because you made him from the dirt and you made me from the fire, and fire is better than the dirt. But what is the harm of the excessive pride? First, this would make actually thinking for us that we are always right. Those people are arrogant and prideful. They are not ready to accept any criticism. We are always right. And this is the problem. When you are ignorant. When someone is ignorant, what is the istighfar? Istighfar is that you are putting yourself in a position that you don't deserve. This is the meaning of istighfar. I'm better than Adam, but he is ignorant that this would not make him better than Adam. So this will make us to not grow. This is the problem, that when we are having excessive pride, we are not able to grow our soul. And that's why, it is harmful. That's why you have to do wiqaya. We have to protect ourselves. As we are protecting ourselves from the fire, we have to protect ourselves from the pride, excessive pride, or jealousy. What is the harm of jealousy? Emotionally and mentally, we would go through the crisis, and for nothing. And this is the harm which we can get mentally and spiritually. That's what we have to make actually protection for us, for ourselves. That's why Quran says that the protection or the taqwa is the ultimate goal of fasting. And maybe you get this or no, because you have to go through the soul making. Not everyone who is fasting will get the taqwa. As Quran says, لَعَلَّكُمْ, you may get the taqwa. You may. If you do the real fasting. So how we can get the real fasting? Because the ultimate goal is that we have to avoid the immorality in our life. As I said in previous khutbah, majlis, that in order to get this done, we have to also foster the sense of detachment in ourselves from dunya. Most of this immorality, comes from the actually attachment to this dunya. And fasting should help us to make this balance between attachment and detachment to dunya. And but let me just say this: detachment doesn't mean that, as Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib said, you should not, detachment doesn't mean that you don't own anything in this world, as actually some other religions they say. No, it means that nothing should own you. You own the things, but don't let the things own you. This is the meaning of detachment. You have to be the master of everything, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I have created for you everything on this land. It's for you. Don't make yourself captive of what I have created for you. And so, see, this is the heart. They actually resembles the heart to the boat. When the boat is in the ocean, if you want to save the boat, there should be no hole in the boat. If there is hole in the boat, so the water of the ocean will come into the boat, and actually the fate would be the sinking of the boat. This ocean is dunya, and the heart of mu'min should be always sound and when there is the hole, which would be the attachment to dunya, then this would be the final destiny for the human being, and he will be doomed to the wrong destiny. So we have to actually keep ourselves, inshallah rahman, in a way that we use the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but at the same time we know وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. We actually understand this. We are here to go to Akhirah sooner or later. And this is the reality. And that's why, if we don't make our lives ready to accept the state of moderation in living, then we are not going to get the salvation. We are not going to get salvation. Who got the salvation? The one who was not a slave of this dunya. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah alayhi. When actually he received the strike of Abdul Rahman ibn Muljam, what he said? Fuztu wa Rabbil Kaaba. I have won. By the Lord, I have won. I actually got the salvation. Why? Because he was not attached to this dunya. For the people who don't believe in hereafter, this strike would be actually the loss. But he is saying that this is not loss for him. This is the winning situation for him. So, inshallah rahman, as I said many times, Imam Ali alayhi salam said, Fustu wa Rabbil Kaaba. That's why he received also the call, Ya ayyatuha an-nafs al-mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyatan fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati. Inshallah rahman, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us opportunity to follow in the footsteps of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And during the last night of his life, he Umm Kulsum brought her two types of food, and he said, I'm going to get only one type of food: salt and little bread. That's it. This was Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. So he said, I want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my stomach is empty. That's why he was saying, Allahumma barik li fil mouth. Nobody would say this if you say to someone, Allahumma barik li fil mouth. Not accepted. He was saying, Allahumma barik li fi liqa'ik. This is the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was asking blessing for this meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to, inshallah, get coexistence with the spirit of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله احد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا احد. اللهم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا المصطفى الامجد المحمود محمد بن الموسم محمد وعلى اله وصلي وسلم على فاطمة الزهراء صلوات الله عليها وصلي وسلم على صدقي الرحمن حسين وعلي بن حسين ومحمد بن علي ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة القائم المنتظر. اللهم اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه والدافعين وإخوتكم عباد الله ونفسي عباد الله ونظم أمركم. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله ونظم أمركم. As I said in the first khutbah, we are commemorating the departure and martyrdom of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As I said, when he actually received the strike of the Rahman ibn Mujahid, he said, and this indicates how he was eager to go through the state of Shahada, for many years. There is a hadith that, in the battle of Uhud, he had thinking that maybe this is the time for him to receive the Shahada. And but when he didn't get the Shahada, he was complaining to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I said, how come I didn't receive Shahada in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Rasulullah said to him, Ya Ali, Abshir, I give you the glad tidings that you would get the Shahada. But I'm going to ask you this question. How would be your sabr? How would be your patience when we get the Shahada? What was the answer of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib? He said, this is not the musibah which I should exercise sabr. This is the ni'mat which I should do the shukr. I don't need to do sabr. I need to say shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you see that, as I said many times, that if you don't make a balance between detachment and attachment, you are not capable to be like Ali ibn Abi Talib. This Ali ibn Abi Talib was the example of making balance between detachment and attachment. That's why he was able to offer sacrifice for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this fasting, believe me, this fasting, which is saying no to the pleasures of life, will help us to offer sacrifice for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when you say no to dunya, when you say no to attachment to this dunya, then you are capable to say yes to shahada, to being killed in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why, as I said many times, one of the meanings of Islam is that you are ready to offer sacrifice for the cause of Allah. And this was the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ. That we are always ready to offer sacrifice for your cause. وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِنَا أُمَّةً مُسْلِمَةً. And Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is ذُرِّيَّةً Muslima of Ibrahim alayhi salam. When he said dua, وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to his dua. And the example of this responding is Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah. You see that the first sacrifice which Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah offered was when he slept in the bed of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No, if you know that some people will attack you tonight, you are not going to sleep. But how Imam Ali alayhi salam was able to sleep at that night? Because he was in a state of Raziyatul Marziyah. Raziyatul Marziyah. And this is the, actually, doesn't matter, what will happen to him, if what will happen to him will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he slept. Some people say, no, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, oh, nothing, no harm will come to you. No, this is not the case. How come Prophet was expecting that the harm will come to him, but not to him, to Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah alayhi? Because people were coming, even they know that Ali ibn Abi Talib is part of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But Imam Ali alayhi salam slept. That's why Quran says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْفِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ. That these people, they are selling their lives in order to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are ready to offer sacrifice themselves in order to get the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you have the battle of Badr and the sacrifice of Ali ibn Abi. Then the battle of Uhud. He didn't leave Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib didn't leave Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam like other people who ran away from the battlefield. He had a lot of the wounds during the battle of Uhud. And then you have the battle of Trench, the Khandaq. You see that Abdul Rahman ibn Abdul was calling on Muslims, come and fight me. Nobody answered him. According to report, as the birds were on their heads, so silent, so calm, the birds can sit on their heads. And then this is Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah alayhi asking Prophet to let him go and fight this person. And Prophet was not sure first, and he was trying to see if any other people they come. He said nobody came forward. That's why, when Prophet accepted to send Ali ibn Abi Talib, he did very touching dua. And this dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he sent Ali ibn Abi Talib to the battlefield, he said, Allahumma innaka akhadta minni Ubaidah ibn al-Harith yawm Badr. Ubaidah was the cousin of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ubaidah ibn Harith ibn Abdul Muttalib. So the father of Ubaidah is Harith, which would be the brother of Abu Talib. He asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, Ubaidah got killed in the battle of Badr. إنك أخذت عبيدة ابن حارث يوم بدر وأخذت حمزة يوم أحد. And you took Hamza in the day of Uhud. وهذا علي, and this is Ali. فلا تذرني فردا. Don't leave me alone. وأنت خير الوارثين, and you are the best inheritance. And when he knocked down Abdul Rahman ibn Abdul Wad, first the Prophet said, لَقَدْ بَرَزَ الْإِيمَانُ كُلُّهُ فِي مُقَابِلِ الشِّرْكِ كُلِّهِ. You see that the whole Iman, the whole faith is encountering the whole kufr. And then when he knocked down Amr ibn Abdul Wad, he said, ضربة علي بن أبي طالب أفضل من عبادة الثقلين. Right, Ali ibn Abi Talib is better than the ibadat of jinn and spirit. Why? Because this situation was so critical. The Islam as a whole was at stake. And Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullah alayhi, by being ready to offer his life of sacrifice for the existence of Islam, he showed that he is a real Muslim. He showed that when Ibrahim said, and his son, رَبَّنَا وَاجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِنَا أُمَّةً مُسْلِمَةً لَكَ. Ali ibn Abi Talib is from the Zurriyyat al-Muslim. But Imam also made another sacrifice, which I think would be even more important in compared to his sacrifices in the battlefield. And inshallah Rahman, we are going to talk about this actually sacrifice, the sacrifice that he actually even was able to let the position of Khilafat go in order to save Islam. This is the real sacrifice. That he actually was completely free from the ego, from the dunya. You see that even in some Islamic centers, there is a battle in the leadership. But you see Ali ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi alayhi, he is the rightful person to get the Khilafat. But when he sees the Khilafat, seeking the Khilafat will endanger the very existence of Islam, he lets actually get Khilafat go. Because he was the real muwahhid. You see that in the Battle of Khandaq? Now when that guy insulted him, he actually waited for him. Why? He didn't finish the job, and he waited. And when they asked him why you didn't do their job right, after actually he was down, he said, because he spat on my face and also he insulted me. And I wanted to do my job only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't want to couple my anger with ridha Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't want to make my anger sharik to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why he is like his grandfather Ibrahim when he said, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. اللهم اجعلنا من أنصار علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. Let's also recite Surah Al-Fatiha in class for all mu'mineen and mu'minat who departed this world, especially brothers and sisters who were part of this community, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، أشهد أن عليا ولي الله، أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر.
الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض، الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين، وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا، بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء لله من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين، ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع، ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما. قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. أنت وليي في الدنيا والآخرة. توفني مسلما وألحقني بالصالحين. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أعن كل فقير. اللهم أشبع كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين واغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن علي ولي الله، أشهد أن علي حجة الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. ولله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. رب اجعل هذا البلد آمنا واجنبني وبني أن نعبد الأصنام. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على
الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم قل لوليك حجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى في هذه الساعة في كل ساعة وليا ونبينا وحينا حتى تسكنه وتمثله فيها. اللهم صل على.
Please recite a Surah Fatiha for. Yesterday we had a suicidal attack in Mazar Sharif Shia Mosque, and 31 Nimazis, Mu'mineen, was affected and died. Please recite a Surah Fatiha for them and our Friday prayer members, Ali Muhammad, Firat Ali, Heather Tatari, and Professor Muhammad Ayyub, and all Mu'minat. Please recite a Surah Fatiha. Please recite 5 times more for those who are sick, especially for Brother Jafar Zaidi. Call Maulana.
أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. إله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض. إله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض. إله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض. إله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء ويجعلكم خلفاء الأرض. إله مع الله قليلا ما تذكرون. صلوا على
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليكم خديجة الكبرى من المؤمنين. السلام عليكم حسن المصطفى عليه السلام. السلام عليكم حسين شهيد كربلاء عليه السلام. السلام عليكم سيدنا المعصومين من ذرية حسين عليه السلام، خصوصا أخيك أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين وخير لنا بنت السبيل
جملة شهداء ذلك ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم الشمس والشمس. والسلام عليك يا نبي المسلوب الأرض سلطان ولكم علينا موسى رضا من شكل